What is up, everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And so today is a very exciting video because I am going to be talking about some of my top tips on how to find a job, but also I feel like these will work if you're looking for internships or also research positions. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Rachel. I recently graduated from UC Berkeley in May 2020, where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. And right now I am currently working full-time at a law firm. And so as a recent college grad, I just went through the entire job search process, and honestly, it's a really hard process. It's really discouraging. You can feel really lost and lonely throughout the process. And so these tips I've compiled are from my experience applying to jobs. Additionally, if you all are applying to colleges this year, you should definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting. It's a team of myself and other UC Berkeley students where we specialize in reviewing college application essays and consulting one-on-one with students or parents who may have questions. So you should definitely check out our website and our social medias because we post daily tips and tricks, and we also have a blog on our website where we post weekly tips and tricks as well. So without further ado, let's get started with my tips on how to find a job. So my first few tips are going to be related to LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account already, I highly recommend that you make one. You have a profile picture, you make your account all nice looking, so you're adding your jobs, experiences, awards, classes, stuff like that, and then you connect with people on LinkedIn. So my first tip is to go on LinkedIn and you can search for jobs via LinkedIn. On the header, you can go and click on jobs, and then you can actually search and filter for different jobs you might be interested in, different locations, everything like that. And so once you find maybe like jobs or companies that you'd be interested in via the LinkedIn search, then I would highly recommend that you go off of LinkedIn and then you Google that company and you look specifically at their website to see their careers, what jobs or internships that they have open right now. You can apply for those jobs directly via LinkedIn, but I found that if you apply directly through the company's website versus applying via LinkedIn, I feel like I've gotten more responses, whether that's hearing back an interview offer via applying through the company's website versus applying on LinkedIn. Plus, it seems like some LinkedIn jobs are a little bit scammy, like they're fake jobs, so they're just trying to get you to apply and then they'll string you along and then interview you and then offer you a position that doesn't actually exist just to get your bank information, and then they'll scam you. So steer clear of that. Additionally, on LinkedIn, my next tip is to try to steer clear of those easy apply jobs. I know for me during my job search, those easy apply jobs were so enticing because they're so easy to apply to. With those easy apply jobs, literally all you had to do was click 2 buttons to apply for the job, upload your resume, and then you applied for the job. And personally, I would steer clear from those because from my experience, I would apply for a bunch of those and just never hear back from any of them because it is basically a resume dump. On those easy apply jobs, you can see the number of people that applied to them, and because they are so easy to apply to, it's like 500, 1,000, 2,000 people are applying to them. And honestly, with resume dumps like that, it's probably not a real person going through your resume, looking at your qualifications and everything like that, but it's probably like an AI or something that's going through the resumes and just picking out keywords. And so that sort of goes with my last point. If you find an easy apply with a company and you see a cool position with that company, maybe Google that company and see if you can apply to that position via the actual website. And so if you've liked any of these tips so far, definitely give this video a big thumbs up to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it. So my next tip is to spend time researching companies and available positions. This basically is if you find a job or position, internship that you find interesting on LinkedIn, don't just apply to it without knowing anything about the job or internship. I would definitely spend some time researching it and looking at the job description, researching the company, what are the company's values, like what is their workplace dynamic like, to see if you could envision yourself in that role or in that company. When you you are doing a job or an internship search, you do want to cast your net wide because chances are you're going to get rejected. You won't hear back from a lot of places, so you do want to apply to a lot of positions, but I feel like you're sort of wasting your time if you're just applying to a bunch of random positions where you don't really know anything about the job or internship, or you don't know anything about the company. Because at the end of the day, if you know nothing about the position, internship, company, are you really going to want to work there if you did get offered? And that goes into my next tip, which is to connect and message with recruiters on LinkedIn. So like in the last step, you would be researching the companies. You can probably find like the HR person or the recruiter for that company. So if you do that on LinkedIn, people will come up and you can see who's actually recruiting for that role right now. So when you do connect with these recruiters, you don't want to just connect with them randomly because they're probably getting a lot of connections because a lot of people are doing this same exact thing. So when you do connect with them, you want to have a meaningful message attached to your connection. So for a meaningful message, you could connect your message to a recent post that they posted about. So if they just posted about like the stock market or equality or social justice, then you could mention something about social justice, equality, the stock market, and also say how you came across that post and you found it very interesting, fascinating, you connect with it, something like that. Another thing that you could say in the message is if you and the recruiter have something in common, so like a similar interest or hobby that they posted about on their page. And then finally, a message topic starter could just be saying thank you, saying, oh, I've came across your page, thank you so much for the advice, I find it very helpful, XYZ, something like that. Any of those could really be your opener with these messages. You don't just want to be like, hi, my name is blah, I want a job, please connect me. That's a no-go. So you really want to start with one of these openers to show that you care. And then you could be like, oh, I came across your page because I'm super interested in this company. I see that you're a recruiter for this company, and basically sort of ask if you can maybe set up a time to chat as a coffee chat. You can be like, I'm super interested in X position. I see it's open on your website. I would love to chat more with you about it. Or like, I would love to hear more about this position, what it's like, something like that. And so connecting with the actual recruiter, HR person is very, very helpful because a lot of people are probably going to be applying to these jobs. So if you have that name recognition, that face-to-face communication, then you're already a little bit above all of the people who just sent in their resume and wrote a cover letter. And with this tip, you can use all of these ideas for professors that you might have right now. So if you're looking for an internship or full-time job or even research, cold emailing your current professors is a great way, or you can go to their office hours if it's in person or online right now and just ask them like, hi professor, I'm in your class, or I took your class previously. Or even if you're not in their class, you can email them and be like, hi, introduce yourself, you teach this class in like XYZ, I see that you do research in this field, like I would love to connect and talk about this research. And I think this is something that students are super nervous about, but honestly I've known so many people who have gotten opportunities through just like emailing their professor or reaching out to people on LinkedIn. So I highly recommend it even if it's scary. So my next tip is to go on LinkedIn and look at the posts of people that are saying, oh, I just got this position, I'm so proud to announce, I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be interning at this company over the summer, I'm going to be working full-time at this company. Because usually when people do those like congratulations posts, I just got a job or internship posts, in their long message at the bottom they'll usually thank the recruiters, they'll thank their professors, other random people who helped them along the process. And so hover over those people's names that they tag thanking and then see who they are, because most times they are going to be directly linking you to a recruiter. If it is your dream job that they just got, then you can just see who did they talk to during this process and then try to talk with that person as well. Which this goes into my next tip, which is to talk to older students or ask your friends for referrals. So at a lot of companies, the people who work at those companies get referrals, which means if they know someone or have worked with someone in the past, they can refer that person to that job or that company. Basically, it helps that person get their foot in the door because a lot of people are applying to these jobs and internships. It is really all about who you know. If you know an older student, or on LinkedIn, if you're searching for students, alumni of your university who work at the place that you want to work at or who have interned at the place that you want to work at, then you should connect with them. Same message technique, reach out if you don't know them. Same thing with messaging the recruiters, ask them for for a coffee chat, say, hey, I saw on your LinkedIn page that you interned at this company or you're currently working full-time at this company, and I would love to chat with you more about the position. Most times, you know, older students are super helpful. They want to help younger students, and they would love to schedule some kind of short 15 to 30-minute chat to answer your questions. And so, same thing, make sure you do your research, have your questions prepared, stuff like that. And I feel like you shouldn't be nervous about reaching out to older students because the internship and job game, it's all about the numbers, it's all about who you know, especially with those bigger companies where tons of people are applying. And so I have a friend who's working at Deloitte, and he said that random people would just message him on LinkedIn about Deloitte while we were still in school, so he hasn't even started working full-time there yet, and he would do coffee chats with students. So like really it does happen a lot. And so my next tip, if you're someone who like literally has no idea what you want to do, you can just search Google for companies and your interests. And hopefully that can help you find smaller companies that might have your dream job or internship at. Because I feel like a lot of people, you know, they get really obsessed over those name brand internships or jobs, so like working at Google, stuff like that. But there are a ton of other companies that you might have never have heard of that have awesome jobs. So if you know the general area that you're interested in, you can look up like location plus general area of interest. So if I were looking things up, I could totally do like San Francisco plus law firms if there's a specific area of law that I was interested in. So if it's intellectual property or criminal law or immigration, then you could stick that in there also. For other jobs, you can do the exact same thing, so stick the location. So if you wanted to work in like New York or Washington DC or Texas or something like that, stick the location in there plus what area that you're interested in, and then less well-known companies will show up. And so just searching on the internet for companies can be really helpful because for those smaller places that may be less well known but are also super awesome, probably less people are applying to them. My next tip is to edit your resume per position that you're applying to. And honestly, that sounds like a ton of work, but I think it does pay off in the long run. And so the way to do it is to look at the job description that you're applying to and sort of change your resume to fit that job description better. So you don't want to just use one resume for every single position, because chances are, even if you have those skills and qualifications that they're looking for on the job description, your current resume isn't going to fit all of the job descriptions that you're applying to 100%. My next thing would be to write a cover letter if it's optional. Even though writing cover letters could take a really long time, you know, if you have one cover letter and then you sort of change it for each position that you're applying to based off of the job description, it can save you a lot of time rather than writing a brand new cover letter for everything, similar to like editing your resume. And I think even if the cover letter is optional, you should totally consider writing one because it shows that you took the time to research the position. It can verbally show how your skill set fits very well for the position that you're applying to versus just the resume, it's just bullet points. If you're writing a cover letter, you can really highlight and tell the recruiter, HR, what skills you have that would be good for the position. You can share a little bit about your background and you can tell them why you want the position so much. And so finally, my last tip would be to utilize your school's resources. So whether your school has a career center or they host career fairs, you should definitely attend. For me, at Berkeley, they hosted career fairs and they have a career center. At the career center, you could go in and get resume help, cover letter help. They would also host like open houses where different law schools, grad schools would come, and recruiters from those grad schools would actually talk about their admissions process. Your school is providing these resources, so I would definitely make the most of it. And so these were some of my tips on how to find a job or an internship or even research. And so definitely let me know down below if you have any questions. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And so definitely stay tuned. I post every single Sunday and Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And so I will see you all next time.